Hi there, welcome to Jake's Place. Overlooking the beautiful north shore of Lake Erie. I'm your host, Tia McGrath, and this is my podcast for storytellers. Welcome to Jake's Place Season 2, Episode 2. Tommy, I am so excited about today's show. We have a wonderful interview coming up with an author that, sometimes life just has a way of bringing you people. And this happened recently, and I don't know if this is happening to you guys out there, but, we're at home. Maybe we're spending more time at home on the computer, on social media, because of the pandemic, whatever. But it's also a cool opportunity to meet some wonderful people that maybe you wouldn't have met if we were out in our busy, active worlds of running and driving everywhere. Are you feeling that too, Tommy?
It's a definite opportunity for us to go to places that we don't normally get to go to and interact with some really amazing, gifted and creative people that have so much to give. That's a part of what we're trying to do, and it's kind of neat that how these two worlds interacted this particular time.
That's absolutely right. And a couple things I noticed are starting to happen this week too, as we start to get into opening up again, and summer is here around the corner. And I think our worlds became smaller in some ways. Our friends, you found out in a hurry who your friends are and who you pretty much had, because of the isolation, we had to pick and choose who we could even interact with in a social level in person, right?
Yeah.
But also, I think it's also broadening, it's also widening, because we are a global society now. It's a global pandemic. And so maybe we are reaching beyond borders now, whereas we didn't before, and finding friends in different places, right? And being more creative, thinking outside the box. I know we're pivoting here right and left. Yesterday, for example, we got an email from the UK that one of our songs was climbing the charts. And we had an opportunity to have a video on a TV show over there. Could we create this video and get it to them like ASAP?
Can you do it in one day?
So we had to pivot from what we were doing and come into our studio here. And Tommy did this beautiful video production for us. And we wouldn't have done that again a year ago, 2 years ago. We would have been doing something else and not had that opportunity. So
we're learning constantly with the technology that we have to, with this new virtual world that we're all in. The technology is ever changing, and it's fun. It's actually a lot of fun to try to reincorporate that into our creativity.
Mm-hmm. And keep our minds open and off of the trauma of post-pandemic shutdown and everything, right?
Exactly. So,
as we alluded to, Douglas Green is this amazing author and just an entertaining man. And his name and information came across my desk, and I was just so excited and blessed to have the opportunity to interview him. Douglas is the author of the widely acclaimed 2015 book, The Teachings of Sherelle, Life Lessons from a Divine Knucklehead, and runs the advice website AskSherelle.com, based on the wisdom in the book, which he was taught by his ridiculous dog. Released from decades in the entertainment business for good behavior, Doug directed the film The Hiding Place and now works as a psychotherapist in Los Angeles, specializing in children and teenagers. Doug has recently written a book called A Dog of Many Names, and I'm so excited that he is here today to share not only the story and the inspiration behind the book, but how it ties in with his work as a psychotherapist, and even some music, because we are, after all, songs and tales. So here is the unedited, because we had so much fun and couldn't miss one beat, interview with Douglas Green. We are meeting over Zoom with special guest author Douglas Green, who is currently in LA. Welcome to Jake's Place, Doug.
Hey, Taya, how are you?
We're doing great. We're having a bit of a windstorm today. So hopefully everything technically goes well for us. Thank you so much for taking time to visit with us today. I know you're super busy right now.
I am for a lot of reasons. The biggest one actually has nothing to do with the book or even why I'm here, but my day job, I'm a psychotherapist and specialize in working with kids and teens. And this last year has been so rough
Oh, I
on
bet.
kids and teens. It just admit that there are some who have loved it. There are certain kids who absolutely have loved the idea of sitting at home alone, looking at a computer screen all day. It's their idea of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Most, it's been pretty awful.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And it's
so,
progressing, I imagine.
yeah, yeah. And so luckily things are starting to open up and the kids are starting to go back to school and they're shocked, what it's like seeing their friends again. And I have them say things like, what I really want to do is play board games, and think like how much we took that for granted before.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And when we were kids, we played board games, didn't we? When we had snowstorms up here in Canada, one of my favorite things to do was we'd have a school day off and we'd stay home, play board games with my parents and that. And then kids kind of got away from that. So now they're getting back to that. Are they?
The eager for the contact, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, I grew up in Kansas City, so had the same thing. My brother and I would do, 8-hour long Monopoly
Yeah.
tournaments.
Well, congratulations on the exciting upcoming release of your beautiful new book, A Dog of Many Names.
Thank you.
And it's coming out on Circuit Breaker Books. And the launch date, I believe, is 7/6/21.
That's
July
right.
6th?
Right.
Perfect. So I've had the opportunity to get a sneak peek of the pre-release, and it's a beautiful, beautiful story, a wonderful story about courage and hope. Would you please share with our listeners who the inspiration is in the story and what it is about?
Sure. About 3 years ago, I think that's right. Maybe it's 4 years ago, I got a rescue dog. And I had an amazing, life-changing experience with a dog before that, who I wrote another book about. And it was finally time to do this. And my thought was, I can't just get a puppy, because everybody will compare it to that last dog. And it won't be fair. It's terrible to grow up that way. And so I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll get an adult rescue dog, keep it for a couple of weeks, bond a bit, then get a puppy, and then they'll be great together. And as you probably know, my naivety about the process of getting an adult rescue dog was gigantic. I think it would have been easier to adopt a child. The amount we go through with because the people who do this care so much. And I got this dog, and while she was perfectly fine, while she was with the people who had her before, who were wonderful, who had her for about 6 months, she was scared the second I got her. And the fear showed more and more over the next couple of days, to the worst point where I took her out for our first walk, and neighbors would say, "Oh my gosh, Doug has a new dog," and come over with their dogs and like, "Oh, I don't know if this is a good idea. She's scared. And some neighbors from across the street were there with their daughters, Chihuahua mix, who jumped on this dog's face.
Oh.
And of course, the dog snapped in response. And I pulled her back just a little lightly and said, "Oh, sweetie, don't do that." And she hit the ground instantly on her back with all four legs pulled in, blinking quickly, basically begging me not to beat her.
Oh.
And I thought, uh-oh, I don't think we're going to be getting a puppy very soon. I think this is a way bigger journey than I had envisioned. And it has been a lot. The poor thing had been through tons. Again, not because the people I got her from, who are great, but we know that because she had a chip in her, we knew that there had been two owners before who had when they called them, when the people who found her called them, they said, "Oh yeah, we had that dog. We didn't like her, so we just let her go."
They just released her into the into the wild?
Yes. And
Oh my
another
gosh.
friend of mine who's a rescuer said that's actually very common in this area called the Inland Empire, where the book takes place, which is east of what we think of as Southern California. And so this had happened. I knew that she had been found in the wild, and it took the people who found her days to get her because she was so frightened. She wouldn't come near them no matter what they did. And that's about all I knew. And so now I'm getting choked up.
Oh.
So over the next year, while I was trying to get her to, trust me, trust other people, get happier, become a dog, I would basically say. I'm sorry. The one other thing was she was the best hunter I've ever known. The dog I had before was much bigger, faster, stronger, but this one was a better hunter.
And I've seen pictures of her. There's a beautiful picture we have, which I'm going to have Tommy, we'll put up on our website so people can see it, of you and Aria. And is she full blood German Shepherd, or in the book you mentioned she's mixed with something else, I think?
She's mixed. People always ask me if she's a puppy, even though she's somewhere between 6 and 9 years old now.
Oh, okay.
She looks like a 6-month-old German Shepherd. I did the DNA test and found she's almost half Shepherd. And then there's Doberman Chow Chow. She has the speckled tongue, and 15% is so complicated they couldn't figure it out.
Angel. 15%
exactly,
angel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All extraterrestrial angel in there.
Yeah.
So I knew those things about her, and I spent the next year trying to figure her out. And so, like, what is it that you don't like? Oh, she's very frightened with anybody she doesn't know touches her on the top of the neck, and she'll scream or snap. And, why is that? Why are these different things? Why is she so scared of my chiropractor? Whatever it is. And eventually, after about a year, I suddenly realized, Doug, you've written your second book. You just haven't touched pen to paper yet.
Right.
But you've come up with this story in your head to explain everything. And it's kind of an adventure story. It's kind of a Jack London story. It's or a John Steinbeck story, because it's about California and different sorts of people and how different people show their good and bad and whatever. And I finally said, okay, let's go for it, and sat down. And so I can't truly say whether I invented this story or whether she told it to me.
Yeah, or both.
It's kind of my version.
Yeah, you were open and you received it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And did you name her Arya then? Was it after Arya Stark from Game of Thrones, per chance?
That's a great question. There's a hilarious story with that. Her name was Ivy. The people that had her, who have a ton of rescue dogs, and they just throw names on for no meaningful reason, and said to me that her name was Ivy. That's a really cute name. The problem is, if I adopt an animal, I consider it part of the family, and to have a last name, and Ivy Green sounds to me like a stripper. So I can't quite go with that. So I love that there's a tail wagging behind you.
This is our dog of many names, Miko.
This is Miko.
Hi, Miko. This is Miko, our husky, and he was originally Nico, and came to us with Savannah. They came separately from North Carolina from the rescue, and we adopted them at the Humane Society in Niagara Falls. So, yeah.
Oh, that's just great. That's just great. You got married in Niagara Falls. It's perfect to dogs. That's great. So I knew it wasn't going to be that, and I was trying to come up with a name that kind of fit her. And one thing is, she's very sweet, and she's light brown mostly, and actually very warm. Like if she gives you a lick, she's her tongue is warmer than most dogs.
Wow.
And so I thought, you're Syrup. That's a perfect name for you. I'm going to call you Syrup. And she didn't seem to respond to it. And after a while, I realized that just sound wise, the word syrup kind of goes down. It's a downward musically. It goes down. And this thing was so frightened, and all I wanted was to raise her up. And I finally looked at what I said, you're not Syrup. I need to get something else, something bright, something like a song, something cheerful, joyous, an aria. And her ears go up. And I said, aria? And her ears went up again. And I actually was concerned about just what you said, because this was right when Game of Thrones was at its peak of popularity. And I thought, I'm not doing that. I'm naming her after an operatic song, which is spelled differently. But I thought, this poor thing is this sweet-natured little girl, shorter than others.
With the big brown eyes like Arya Stark.
Who has gone through so much and is holding on to her personality. If people want to make that mistake, make that association with her, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Oh, yeah. Because Arya Stark in Game of Thrones she's a warrior, and she's and a survivor, and the no face thing where she kind of ties in with it all, doesn't it? The many masks, the many faces, the many names, right?
And so I would be afraid that you might have a listener. There might be someone left in the world who wants to watch Game of Thrones and hasn't seen it yet. But just in case, I will say, she does something really important in the last season, really big.
Yes.
Everybody's wanted to do. And believe me, when that happened, as I paused it, rewound, called the dog in the room, this is it.
Oh, that's absolutely beautiful. That's lovely. Gosh, it feels good to laugh.
Yeah.
You've been listening to my wonderful interview with author Douglas Green, talking about his new book, A Dog of Many Names, and his exciting journey with his angel, Arya. Tommy, it reminds me of a song that you and I wrote called Saints and Angels. I've been a restless wanderer on the earth. I've been a restless wanderer on the earth. No home, no love, no sense of purpose. A prisoner of my past, just doing time. I wanna live. Is it such a crime to release saints and angels, to be waiting on a good friend, to be led through my river Jordan into some promised land? Been losing my religion faithfully, still hoping for some hope in humanity. The tears I've cried, you'll never know they're mine. So don't tell me it ain't right to release saints and angels, to keep waiting on a good friend, to be led through my river Jordan into some promised land. Oh, I'm getting tired. Yeah, I'm feeling weak, believing for so long that you would come and rescue me. Yeah. promised land, into my promised land. I've been a restless wanderer on the earth. No home, no love, no sense of purpose. Saints and angels, to believe, saints and angels.
Again, she was not good with other dogs. I would try to get her to be friendly with other dogs, and she's always been testy. And at one point I was walking her, and this very attractive young woman is walking with her husky puppy. Looks like Miko, looked a lot like Miko. And I am chatting, just friendly chatting, and the husky jumps up on me or something, and she says, "Aria, don't do that." And I thought, uh-oh, this is going to look so sleazy if I say, "Oh, that's my dog's name."
Oh, so they're both Aria.
They were both Arya, and hers
Oh.
was named after Arya Stark. So at least they were different
Wow.
spelling. But I still thought it looked bad until eventually, at some point, a week or two later, we were talking and somebody else walked up who knew me. And so it was clear I wasn't making this up as a really bad pickup line.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. But originally, may I give it away? In the book, Aria's original name was Rascal. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. And like I said, I've had a bit of a chance to read. That's right. Jake's. I forgot Tommy. Tommy just reminded me. Jake
Yeah.
the road dog. When we adopted him, his name was Rascal.
Are you serious?
Yes, I forgot about that.
Oh, that's wild. That's
Oh
just
my gosh,
wild.
that's right. And Tommy named him Jake. He said he's not a rascal, he's a Jake. He's like, this little man
That's
about
so
town
funny.
type
So-
thing.
So Jake's a dog of many names. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing that I really connected with, because you and I talked about this before, was tying in the humanity, the connection between the human emotions, the dogs, using all of this to share our passions and our gifts, and really the dog's story to help others, right? And what I really like is because these are angels. Ari is an angel. I believe Jake was an angel. There's dogs and there's cats and then there's angels.
Yes.
And there's a sensitivity that you bring to Rascal, the character Rascal, and how this makes her different from other puppies. And may I read a little bit from page
Sure.
16? Okay, cool.
Not page 16, anything but that. Yeah.
So this whole page I wanted to read, but I can't take all that time. So because we want to talk to you, so I'll read this little bit. It says, Rascal smelled and heard all around her like most dogs, but also felt weather that hadn't come yet, the vibrations of the ground beneath her, and others' sadness or anger. This sensitivity, which made her especially reactive, had any other dog jumped so when someone dropped a fork from the table, also made her positive feelings overwhelming. All dogs love big, but for Rascal, love stunned. That just gave me chills when I read that. I wanted to cry because these
wonderful.
dogs do. They almost and I can see it in Aria's eyes. That they have this sensitivity about them that they feel so much. And when you're working with teenagers, I imagine you're able to tie this in. You've got to have you probably have sensitive teenagers who feel like I grew up as a sensitive empath and thought I was a freak show half the time. Right. Someone would walk in the room and I would feel these emotions and not understand it. Do you find that with your teenagers, and are you able to, did you write this character this kind of description to help these teenagers you're working with?
I will say the whole book is for that. I mean, that's the
Beautiful.
general audience. I see it as being ideally may this happen in terms of sales, but like something like, let's say, the Hunger Games or Of Mice and Men, where there's a teenage audience, but anybody of any age reads it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really describing Aria. It will happen that she, I'll say as an example, I have a girlfriend who she likes better than me, no question. She adores her. And she comes over and we pet her and play with her and do that whole yowling thing that I have in the book that she loves to do. And then Aria has to run out of the room and be by herself. She's too overwhelmed by all that emotion. She can't take it. It's too much for her. She is it comes with fear, of course, but it also comes with love. It comes with ecstasy. It's too much for her. And at first I would think, like, why are you mad at me? Why are you scared of me? I was just petting you. You were just licking me. You're running out of the room. What happened? And eventually I realized it's nothing bad at all. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
It's the rolling over to your side of the bed and having a cigarette afterwards.
Yeah, she like you said, love for most dogs, love is big, but for these kind of dogs, love stuns, right? There's beautiful.
As I described, stuff where when I come home, sometimes she'll run up and say hi, but other times she'll be perfectly still, just staring at me like it's just too much. She's stunned.
You came home to me. You didn't abandon me.
Exactly. And I can't believe this, and I can't quite deal with it.
Yeah. So are you planning a book tour during this pandemic? Are you able to do a book tour, or are you doing virtual? Or
I would love it. At the very least, I would love to do some readings and things here and some in Kansas City where I grew up. If I think it comes down to sales, if the book sells well enough and we can get interest other places, I would, of course, love to take it around the world. That'd be joy. But for now, it's more this sort of virtual tour. It's talking to people and all that. I mean, I'm just hoping we get bookstores back open, much less.
Yeah, I know. When I wrote Jake the Road Dog, and Jake was with us still, we took him on the road with us. We were doing the book tours in Indigo, Chapters, Coles bookstores up here in Canada.
Okay.
And they allowed us to take him in, and it was so beautiful. And kids would come over and pet him, and we had some beautiful moments. I mean, there was adults. One woman came up and they had just lost their dog, and so she hugged Jake and started crying. There was healing moments. It was beautiful. Yeah. And now they're all gone, right? They're all canceled because of the pandemic. So I'm really praying that they open up again too soon. And
I certainly am. I will push. Maybe I shouldn't be pushing agendas here, but there's a organization called Bookshop where you can, if you're buying books now, instead of buying them from an online seller, you can buy them from your favorite bookstore, but it will still get mailed to you.
Oh, great.
And that's what I've been doing.
Good.
And
awesome.
Very, very happy to do that.
Yeah, beautiful. And you, so with your last book that you said was written about a dog called The Hiding Place.
No. That was a movie I made 20 years ago.
Okay.
The book was The Teachings of Sherelle, Life Lessons from a Divine Knucklehead.
Oh, cool. Okay, great. And that inspired the website AskSherelle.com, correct?
Right.
Awesome. So do you see maybe a movie down the road with A Dog Many Names?
Much more so with Teachings of Sherelle, people kept saying to me that they thought it should be a movie. And I thought, I don't think it would work because it's too internal. It's about the things I learned from this dog. But with this one, boy, I would love that.
Yeah.
And it's funny, the last movie I saw in theaters before everything shut down was this latest version of Call of the Wild with Harrison Ford. And of course, I spent the whole time thinking, wow, you can do that with CGI now, huh?
Yeah.
I know a story that would work with this.
Absolutely. That's what I'm thinking. And did you see Togo? Did you see the movie Togo? Oh, it's
No.
beautiful. It's about a husky. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We could talk all day. This is amazing. And so before we let you go and leave Jake's Place, was there anything you wanted to add to the story or you want people to know about your journey with healing and teenagers and dogs and books?
Sure. Well, I will say that in the end, the book, you're asking how it applies to the psychology work. It really is about trauma, and not drama, but trauma. TRA. And what those who have been through trauma can do and how they can grow. Trauma will send you certain directions. And to say it simply, there's a point in this book when this dog gives up on the human race completely and says, I don't trust you at all, and I'm done. And I hate you, I fear you, I don't trust you. And where growth can, and the joke is that's kind of the beginning of the strongest part of her life, because she learns to do without us.
399 days in the dark. Then this morning I woke up without you in my heart. It might be forgiveness, or I've just stopped giving a damn that you killed a part of me. Who cares that you know who I am? How do you feel? How do you feel? With a heart cold as steel. The truth hurts now, doesn't it? Sting when it's real. To run head first into it, those words that never heal. You said I pushed you, but I'm the one on the ground. Start over now, bet you'd still take me down. How do you feel? How do you feel? With a heart cold as steel. Tell me, how do you
is it that can make us make a different choice? And whether your trauma is because of abuse, because of just bad chance happening to you, or as my therapy mentor loves to say, death by 1,000 paper cuts, where you've just had nothing particularly awful has happened to you, but you've had so many little things that you still are a trauma victim in your life.
Yeah.
What is it, what strength it requires, and what nobility it is to make choices to move on.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty incredible, because we've been going through that, 30 years in the music industry, and,
It's bigger than paper cuts.
death by 1,000 paper cuts. It's like, you go through it all, and sitting here during
Julius Caesar, you got knife wounds all over you.
And sitting here during the pandemic and lockdown going, we spent 15 years building up our touring career, going around the road, going over to England. I mean, this is all things that has just been wiped out, that people say, well, it'll come back. Well, they don't understand. This took a lot of time. And I know we have a lot of musicians around the world who are listening. And it's so I think for me, I personally had to sit down and go, okay, I've got to get a handle around letting this go, letting the past go, picking up, reinventing, starting new, starting with a new name, right? Starting over again. Yeah.
Right. And I was saying to you before the show, I envy you and Tommy's abilities, your talent so much. I've argued for years that in my next lifetime, I want to be able to sing, and really sing. And the awfulness that there have been so many people with this incredible gift who have been told for the last year, oh, well, sing on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
Like, that stinks. And from Aria's name, you can guess I love opera. And here are these people whose voice can fill a auditorium, can fill a stadium. They've worked their whole life with it, with a enormous God-given gift and enormous work. And now saying, oh, well, spend a year, practice your scales at home with your piano. Yeah. And it's been so rough and so painful. And if there's a good side to all that, I hope it's that there is much more appreciation of live music, of singing without auto-tune, everything. In this next year. And I hope people go out more and lunge for it more.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's something we were losing anyway.
We were finding, like we were talking with other artists who are on the road, independent artists, and music was becoming background. They were streaming everything. It was, you'd be in a venue performing, and people would be, chatting or listening to their phone. And the one thing I've got to say, though, we started doing these online concerts, and we wanted to keep them kind of private, as if people were buying a ticket to a venue and feeling special, right? And so I've often said on stage, we'd be over in England, and I'd say, wow, I wish we could get you in the room with our friends from Kansas, or our fans from Albuquerque, New Mexico, or our friends from Savannah, or our friends. Well, this is what we're doing now. And so the other day we did this online concert, and it was so cool. And at the end, we let everyone unmute themselves and put their cameras on. And we had people with accents from all over the world bantering with each other and laughing and giggling. And we even had, it was fantastic. So that was a beautiful, it was kind of a beautiful thing that we probably wouldn't have been able to do if we were on the road. Right.
Right. As long as we get the other one back too.
Right.
But
exactly.
Having that addition, I think it's fantastic and great. Do that every week.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Doug, and I hope so much that we get to meet in person, and that you'll come back and visit us at Jake's Place again.
Anytime.
This has been wonderful. And blessings on your book release and on all your beautiful, passionate works with teenagers. And this is going to spread to kids all around, of all ages, all around the world. I know it.
From your mouth to their ears.
There you go. Thank you so much. And you just have a blessed, beautiful day. Okay.
Thank you. You too. You too.
Thank you
so much, guys. And whoever that is behind you.
That is Miss Savannah May.
That's Miss Savannah May. Okay.
Yeah. She's our Catahoula cur. And Miko's in the other room. He's gone back to bed. So
okay. Perfect. They know what to do.
Please give Ari a big kiss for us too. Okay.
She's going to get about 1,000. You got it.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Wow, Tommy. That was incredible.
That was a lot of fun. Man, is he ever fun to listen to? And he's got a way of putting the words out there. It was so entertaining.
The world is definitely blessed to have a man like Douglas Green sharing his talents and his vision and his healing through his books and his therapy and working with kids and teenagers. I mean, just I hope all of you will look for the credits at the end here and rush out and order A Dog of Many Names that's coming out on Circuit Breaker Books, and even send Douglas's publicist, Christian, a message if you'd like, saying how much you enjoyed listening to his stories today. Well, the time has just flown, and like I said at the beginning, we did not want to edit that interview because it was just so enlightening. And we hope that it's encouraged you today. We talked about trauma. A lot of us are dealing with trauma. We're dealing with depression. We're dealing with reinventing the stress of having to not only reinvent our world, but not knowing where things are going. As Tommy keeps saying, what is the light at the end of the tunnel? And we hope it's not a train, you know? So we're all feeling this, and we just really, really, really hope that through the story of a dog finding her way to her new loving family, and how her voice, her message of hope and not giving up is encouraging, inspiring, and life-changing. Have a great day, guys, and thank you for joining us here at Jake's Place, Songs and Tales. Tom and I are just tickled to death that you took time out of your busy schedule to stop by and visit us today at Jake's Place, Songs and Tales. We hope you enjoyed the show and will consider becoming a subscriber. You can find us and subscribe at your favorite podcast provider. If you're interested in becoming an underwriter or would just like to drop us a line, we'd love to hear from you. Please send all your feedback, comments, inquiries, ideas for future shows to tiamcgrath.com/Jake's Place. There you'll find our comments section, as well as our Lake Country store. Check out some of our cool merchandise, Jake the Road Dog Book, and of course our CDs. You mean the world to us, and Tommy and I are just so thankful to be sharing this beautiful road dog journey with you, one paw print at a time. Until our next episode, let yourself be crazy beautiful, find the song in your heart, and hey, still some meat on that bone, Jake.